Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 3 of the Solidarity Challenge. My name is Chris Tunn. I am here once again with Harry Channon. Daryl will be joining us later, but we've had 2 fantastic days of PES so far. Harry, excited to get into day number 3.
Yeah, me too. It's a shame, obviously, that Darren is it's a little bit busy and can't join us, but we'll obviously have some tremendous PES action ahead of us, and we round it up today, don't we? We crown our champion, so let's get to it as soon as we can.
Indeed, and just to let you guys know at home why we are doing the Solidarity Challenge, of course, it is to try and combat against the current coronavirus pandemic going on across the globe. It is the WHO's sponsor charity COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. www.solidaritychallenge.org is where you can donate. Every single penny goes to helping fight COVID-19. And of course, it's something that has just been going on for far too long now, and I think everybody wants to get out the other side of it, and the WHO are helping us to do that. And that is why these celebrities have pledged their time to try and entertain you with some good PES gameplay, some bad PES gameplay on top of that as well. But we've already had some of the quarterfinals go on. But first and foremost, let's just reiterate the rules of the tournament. 16 celebrity players did join us. We don't have that many left, of course, but it's a 10-minute game. Penalty shootout is what decides it, and it's a single knockout format. No extra chances here, Harry. You've got to win. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, no last chance saloon. You have to get it done in the 90 minutes. If not, you're going straight into a penalty shootout. There's no extra time, so you really have to get the business done in the 90 if you don't want to leave it to that lottery, which, you know, some of the celebs that we've had on the Solidarity Challenge have already found out that they could find themselves crashing out on pens. So get it done in the 90 if you can, I think.
Absolutely. And now, just to let you guys know the games that have already went on, we've got 2 quarterfinals left to go. The first one we're going to see is Scott McTominay against Robert Pires. But then secondly, we have Giorgio Chiellini up against Danny Kerr. Now, we're very excited to get into these 2 games, but first and foremost, we're going to be talking about McTominay against Pires. Now, Scott McTominay has already dealt with a Manchester United, or former Manchester United player, I should say, and Louis Saha. Now he's going up against an Arsenal legend and Robert Pires. How do we think he's going to fare here, Harry? It's Scott McTominay was maybe a little bit shaky in his first game that we seen against Louis Saha.
It wasn't very convincing, was it? It wasn't as convincing as maybe we thought, but I think he's got a pretty decent draw here and has a good chance of going through when you consider how Robert Pires got to this stage on penalties, really snuck through and in the most unlikely of fashions against, of course, Steve McManaman in the previous round. So Scott might just fancy his chances here, having watched that game.
Yeah, Robert Pires did struggle, and possibly if you look at any of the other games, if you played anybody else, you feel as if they may have beat him. But Steve McManaman made the job quite easy for Robert Pires, if you like. It was a strange game. But before we do jump into the game between Scott McTominay and Robert Pires, we're going to chat to the players. Now, guys, both of you managed to win your round 1 games. Robert, I'll come to you first. In your game against Steve McManaman,
yes.
It was maybe not the highest scoring one, but managed to come through on penalties. It must have been a good feeling to get one over on Steve.
Well, I'm very happy because I beat Maka. I think it was a funny game, not a really good game. It was very, very tactical. Leno, he did a great save, so he saved me during the game and of course during the penalties. So this is football. Sometimes you need to win like this.
Absolutely. And Scott, you have to win your games on penalties as well. Are you hoping it goes that far, or do you want to do it in 90?
Yeah, it was such a good game with me and Lou, and it was a pleasure to play against him as well. I was a little bit unlucky. I hit the crossbar. I think I hit the post as well. So maybe should have scored a couple of goals, but no, it should be playing against such a legend like Robert. It's be an exciting match to watch for sure.
Well, let's hope for goals, guys. Thank you very much and good luck in your game. So here we go then. Scott McTominay against Robert Pires. Damani Miller is going to try and get a goal straight away here.
McTominay, well versed in eFootball PES. Corner still to come though.
Corner whipped in. Damani Miller. Oh! Dear me. There was a stunning goal from the youngster. That would have been the goal of the tournament so far, Harry. Let's give it away here, Robert. Damani Miller now trying to get away down this left-hand side. Cutting in onto his right foot. And there it is. It's been coming. Somewhat inevitable. Scott McTominay takes the lead. And you have to say, absolutely deserves it in the grand scheme of things.
Pires has really struggled to maintain possession for more than 3 or 4 passes at a time. He's giving it away there. And, well, this could spell trouble.
It could be. He's got plenty of men over. It could be one man to make it 2.
No, I can't finish.
Not far off. Robert Pires needs to keep a hold of the ball here. He's really struggling to do so. Flies in. Another yellow card, and that's the second. Can't quite wriggle away. The ball's been retrieved, though. Marcus Rashford on the edge. 2-0 now to Manchester United, and 2-0 to Scott McTominay. Creepman towards the end of the first half. Greenwood now into Damani Miller, back to Greenwood. He's got options in the middle as well, but maybe rush that. Oh my word. What is going on there? But back into it another half here. Can Robert Pires mount a comeback? Just building his play here once again. Scott McTominay using himself as the catalyst to try and create opportunities like this for Rashford, and it's a great save. And Leno getting in the way of another one. Maybe an opportunity here for Robert Pires to get on the score sheet. Has a hit with Aubameyang. David De Gea is forced to make a save for pretty much the first time in this game. 68 minutes gone. McTominay sprinting forward with McTominay. Can he bury it? Oh, but Leno denies him. Yes. Oh, he's given away. Lacazette. Oh, he scored. 87 minutes gone, and Robert Pires has got his first goal of the Solidarity Challenge. He wants it back at the half to get back into this game. Oh, and the referee will blow his whistle, and Scott McTominay will advance to the semi-finals. What a game in the end there between yourselves. Scott coming away as the winner, but I mean, you maybe made it hard on yourself a little bit, Scott, there, because you were cruising through the game, but Robert got back into the game.
Yeah, he was in the second half. He was very, very good. He had a few chances in the late end of the game, but no, my finishing was a little bit better. Still had 21 shots and scored 2, so no, not a good ratio, but we'll get there step by step. But no, it was a pleasure to play against him. Such a legend of the game as well, so it was a real pleasure for me to play with him.
Me and Harry noticed you were passing to yourself as much as you possibly could. I knew you wanted the goal with yourself in game. Maybe you managed to get that in the semi-finals, but Robert, you managed to grab yourself a goal at least.
Well, I think for me at the beginning, I was very difficult. I know, because Scott is better than me, and I think he deserved the victory. But yeah, I do better and better, especially in the second half. But like against Maka, Leno, he did a good game. So this is the football. But I finish well.
So, Scott, you will now advance on as well. For you, what are you looking to change in your game? Just need to maybe try and get a couple more of those chances in the back of the net. Yeah,
that's obviously important as well. You need to take your chances. So, no, I'm looking forward to obviously getting. I think it'll be the semi-final now, so that'll be exciting, and hopefully everyone at home who's watching will enjoy it as well.
Excellent. Well, Robert, thank you very much for your involvement as well. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. Thank you very much. And Scott, good luck in your next game. And thank you very much, guys. Well, there we go, Harry. I was about to say a convincing win for Scott McTominay. He had plenty of the ball, plenty of chances, but only a 2-1 victory. He's definitely going to have to start taking these chances if he wants to get past the semis and into the finals.
Yeah, very much so. Needs to be a lot more clinical than that. I will say, though, as a Tottenham man, probably the only time I will ever cheer on Robert Pires in my entire life. So I honestly thought he could maybe stage a late comeback, and maybe if the referee hadn't blown the whistle right on the end of the match, then maybe if he had allowed Pires one last counter, there was a chance. There was a glimmer, a very small glimmer of hope. But there were some strong chances there for Robert. Obviously, the majority of them coming for the Manchester United man, but in the end, the result is, well, as it stands.
Absolutely fair, and I think, Scott definitely deserved to win that game, but it was nice to see Robert potentially coming back into it. But there we go, that is going to be the semi-final in there for Scott McTominay. We've got one more quarter-final to go, though. It is going to be Giorgio Chiellini up against Danny Kerr. Welcome back to the Solidarity Challenge. My name is Chris Dunn, joined by Harry Chan, and once again we have one final quarterfinal to go, and we're very interested to see who walks away as winners of this one. It's going to be Danny Kerr taking on Giorgio Chiellini. Excited to get in this one, Harry. Both these two seem fairly confident in their first round game, so this should be a cracker.
Yeah, it really should. For me, the interesting part is to see whether or not Giorgio Chiellini is still going to stick to his game plan of not playing himself. So the virtual version of himself won't disappoint the real version of himself, and he won't blame himself too much. But yeah, you're right. The last round between the victors of these two boys here were absolutely incredible matches, and I'm looking forward to seeing it go on.
Yeah, both looked really, really good. Danny obviously going on to beat Mathieu Bastareaud, and Giorgio Chiellini beating Yaya Toure. So two very, very good wins as well. And I'm interested to see if they can translate that into a decent game here. But just to remind you guys at home why we are doing this Solidarity Challenge, of course, it is to support the WHO's COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. You can go to www.solidaritychallenge.org to donate. All donations do go directly to the fund, so please make sure, if you can, you do donate. But before we get into this final quarterfinal, we're going to chat to the players. So guys, looking forward to getting to your quarterfinals. Both of you already winning one game and beating good opposition as well. But of course, Danny, in your first game, you went on to obviously beat Bastareaud in your first one, in a rugby player. So now you're going up against a fully fledged football player. Are you concerned?
I'm worried, mate. I'm worried. He's wearing his training kit. Do you know what I mean? He's playing as his own team. He knows them inside and out. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous sat here in London, but yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting Giorgio. He's a great guy. Just having a chat with him there. So looking forward to the game.
Giorgio, this time round
in the game.
Pardon?
In the field and also in the game, I'm a good defender, and then I wait for something to do by Cristiano. I'm waiting for his goal and the zero.
Giorgio, are you going to be playing yourself in your team this time?
Sorry, can you repeat, because you speak too fast for me?
Sorry. Are you going to be using your own character in game this time?
No. I'm the coach, and I can shoot up against my teammates and not myself.
You have to play. If you're on the game, you have to play.
It's genius, I think. It's genius. But guys, good luck in your game. Well, here we go then. Danny Kerr taking on Giorgio Chiellini. I would like to hope it is Giorgio playing as Juventus and Danny playing as Barcelona. That would be a turn up for the books, wouldn't it? But here we go. Barcelona against Juventus. Danny Kerr against Giorgio Chiellini. We're excited for this one, Harry.
Yeah, we are. And, well, it's good to see Chiellini is sticking with his tried and tested format of not playing himself, so he can't be the blame.
He's going to be able to easily defend this one, but I love it. I think it's genius, to be honest with you.
He might get a bit of stick from us, Chris, but, you know, we're just envious that he's got an in-game character, I think, to actually play on the pitch.
Yeah, I don't think our in-game characters would be very good. But he also actually has Cristiano Ronaldo there as well. So a threatening unit, irrelevant of the start balancing. He's a big guy. And that physicality of the Juventus team is very much a reason as to why a lot of people are happy in picking them. But Barcelona have been there as the favourites alongside them. Frankie de Jong now down the left-hand side to Jordi Alba. Danny with his first attack here. Luis Suarez is going to get in front. It's a brilliant goal. Luis Suarez slots it home in the 6th minute. It's a lead for Barcelona. It's a lead for Danny Kerr.
Well, what a find this is for Danny Kerr in the opening 10 minutes. Just see Suarez there getting in front of his man. I think it's Bonucci at the back for Juventus, the culprit. And, well, it's a tremendous find, and the ball was on a sixpence for him as well. Just needed to get his knee over it. Did so. And it beats the opposition keeper. Advantage Danny Kerr. Who saw this coming?
Well, when we were discussing this, we were favouring Giorgio in this game. Just after his great performance against Yaya Toure yesterday. But so far, so good for Danny Kerr. And Ousmane Dembele may be in here, but Cuadrado will get across. Needs to try and build something here. Plenty of time left to play, though. Well, that's a sloppy pass, and Rakitic will get onto that one. Suarez now to Messi. It's a good pass out wide to Usman Dembele, good ball into Suarez again. And it's a save forced out by Szczesny. And this one will be played away, but good threatening play from Danny Care already.
Yeah, Danny's threatening to
dive.
really put this one out of reach of Giorgio Chiellini before the game's even started. Just needs to be a little more assertive on the defensive side, does Giorgio. He knows he has the strength of the back line that Juventus presents itself, so prevalent in stat balancing as well because of the strength and height attributes that the back line retain, with all other statistics being uniform to make it as fair as possible. So just want to see a bit more aggression from the back line of Juventus.
Douglas Costa now in down this right-hand side. He has been an outlet for a lot of these players using Juventus, but that will trickle out for a goal kick to Barcelona.
And the thing is, for Giorgio, the more aggressive he plays on the defensive side of things, especially in midfield, the more chance he might have to catch Danny Care off guard and maybe get a decent scoring opportunity to level the score.
De Ligt will get over. Bonucci. Oh, is he giving that away? Ramsey will just about get there, but that will be a throw into Barcelona. I think it will. Frankie de Jong, a little bit of space. Bentancur will get in front of him, but Suarez will get a second bite at it. Not going to quite happen, no, but de Jong, he's dispossessed. He's Netherlands teammate. Szczesny will get down low to his left-hand side. And will get it away towards Cristiano Ronaldo, but Giorgio Chiellini very much living dangerously here. Higuain now. Once Ronaldo in the middle, Higuain will retain it. Matuidi. Bentancur, Ramsey. Good player by Giorgio Chiellini here, trying to let fire with Douglas Costa. Cuadrado, it's not a very good ball though, and Frankie de Jong will get this one away for Barcelona. 23 minutes gone though, and Giorgio Chiellini trying to get back into this game. Foul in the middle though. Barcelona will receive a free kick.
Better attacking wise from Giorgio. You can tell, as he did in the previous round, that he likes to play on that far side a lot. Cuadrado and Douglas Costa being the two talisman for him. And I remember back to that previous round, Alexander and Cristiano Ronaldo on this near side, Chris, weren't as prevalent for him. So look for him maybe to work that far side a little bit more, especially in the second half, which will of course then be the near side for us.
Messi on the edge will go for goal. Szczesny gets his palms to it, but has to have a second bite at it to grab a hold, and will be called into action just to grab that loose shot. Cuadrado now to Douglas Costa. Ramsey out wide to Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Trying to get away from Sergio Roberto here. The ball in though. No, it's going to be rebounded. Ter Stegen gets in front of it. Busquets will get it away. But plenty of pressure coming here. Matuidi to Ramsey and to Cuadrado now. Better play here from Giorgio Chiellini. Douglas Costa to Matuidi, back to Ramsey. It's a good play on the edge of the box. Higuain can shoot from here. A small deflection will allow it to trickle wide for a corner. But much better there once again from Giorgio.
Really, really patient build-up. And it was confusing for Danny Care to try and deal with. He's building though. He's starting to grow into the game, is Giorgio.
Bentancur to take the corner. Going in towards Higuain. Cuadrado straight from the off. Well, threaten with that, but just threaten. Not going to quite test Ter Stegen. Still a 1-0 lead for Danny Care's Barcelona. De Jong out wide to Alba now. Maybe can find another before the half. 35 minutes of in-game time gone. Now the Welshman Ramsey getting forward as Douglas Costa offside. No, he isn't. Played on. Ball in towards Higuain. Was dangerous. Gerard Piqué had to get there. And Barcelona will be the ones that get out of the ball.
It was vital. And the last few attacks have gone Juventus's way, and they're looking to end the half strongly. Well, here comes Danny Care.
Oh, Usman Dembele is squeezed in. Doesn't have much support, but it's arriving. Lionel Messi and Suarez both there. The pass was definitely more likely to go in the back of the net with the pass to Suarez, but Messi the intended recipient. Now the corner will be whipped in. Matuidi will be able to clear this one away. Sergio Roberto on the edge of the box. Into the air it goes. Alba will continue this attack for Barcelona. A good tackle by Cuadrado. A tight game, this has to be said.
Yeah, the terrible twosome on that far side, Chris. We said that it was one of the keys to Giorgio's success in the previous round, Cuadrado and Douglas Costa, but they've lost the ball.
Ramsey will get this away. 43 minutes gone, maybe not too many more opportunities in this half.
Now for me, finish.
Ousmane Dembele now. Alba. Look for the ball back to Dembele, but he had been restricted a little bit. And that should end the half with a 1-0 lead to Danny Care. Will. Barcelona 1-0 up after a strike by Luis Suarez in the 7th minute. Danny has to be careful. Another goal here for Danny would definitely give him confidence going into the final moments of the game, but I feel as if he probably is going to need another goal here, Harry.
Yeah, Giorgio has really started to hit his stride, and, well, he has a chance there, but that one will never even trouble the goal. You just need to see Chiellini believe in the system of Juventus, keep controlling that midfield area, keep recycling possession, and wait for the diamond opportunity to present itself, which no doubt it will, as Danny's put under pressure later on in this game.
Goal kick taken short, as so often it is in PES. Frankie de Jong now in the middle will make a bursting run forward. Ousmane Dembele is here, trying to skip past Cuadrado. He'll match him for pace, but the ball in is solid once again towards Suarez. He's not going to get there. Dembele goes for a shot himself. Is the rebound going to fall to Messi? It's a great save by Szczesny. That's a foul in the box by Suarez. Another really good opportunity for Barcelona. And if it wasn't for Szczesny, that's 2-0.
Yeah, De Ligt on the receiving end of a really strong challenge from Suarez. It came after a really nice spell of pressure from Danny Care. You can tell I think he agrees with you, Chris. I think he knows that he needs another goal under his belt. He senses Giorgio is starting to grow into this one, and, well, the Italian veteran smells the goal.
Higuain trying to get forward there with Cristiano Ronaldo. And de Jong is going to lose out. There's a wayward touch. Ramsey. Benton Kerr. Higuain trying to find Ramsey once again, and maybe just the easier ball sometimes for Giorgio. Can't quite find that final pass. And he had most of his success when he was passing it around the edge of the box and taking his time. Benton Kerr now to Matuidi. Ronaldo's making the run out wide. Higuain is here. Bit better patient play here. Ramsey into Higuain. Can't quite turn. Busquets will get this one away. As long as time goes on, feel as if that second goal for Danny could potentially come, and that should seal the tie. Sandro will win it back, though. Still time here for Giorgio Chiellini, and the ball inside of Higuain is a little bit loose by Cristiano Ronaldo, but he will try to get it back. Piqué there to cover once again. Just so hard for Giorgio Chiellini to get through here with his Juve team.
Well, we're entering the realms of substitutions, Chris, and at what point do you put on the super sub Chiellini? Maybe up top to throw something different in the mix. Maybe just not relying on his virtual teammates enough, and at what point does he say is enough is enough?
You'd like to think he maybe would have gotten in front of that first chance. But I like his thinking, though. He can blame his teammates. Matuidi now. Out to Cristiano Ronaldo. The ball is whipped in. Higuain is there, but also so is Gerard Piqué. Higuain, though, on the edge of the box. Langley gets in front of it this time. Good defensive work by Danny Care.
Desperate defending, but it does the job, Chris.
It does. Ronaldo trying to hurry the ball back, but just can't quite get it out of his feet, I should say. Messi out wide to Sergio Roberto. Danny still looking for that second goal. I feel as if this game may have one more big chance. Nothing coming of that attack from Danny. If you're Giorgio, though, what are you looking to do better here? I know obviously score is ultimately the aim, but do you feel as if he's rushing it a little bit too much, Harry?
Maybe just not giving himself enough time for the runners to make those runs from deep, which are really going to carve over the Barcelona back line. You can tell from Danny's perspective, he likes rushing towards the ball with these defenders, and that's something you have to try and exploit if you're Giorgio.
Oh, Cristiano Ronaldo can't get away from Sergio Roberto down that left-hand side. And of course, he is an outlet you would like to use as much as you can. Feel like he's going to be offside from that one. He will be, and that will be called back. 76 minutes gone. Danny Care is only around 15 in-game minutes away from heading to the semi-final.
That would be a shock result, wouldn't it, Chris? Obviously, the rugby union start up against a professional footballer, Italian legend Giorgio Chiellini. There's the first substitute of the game, and it's one that Danny Care has gone for in the past. Dembele off, I believe, for Antoine Griezmann, so look out for Griezmann on this near side for the counters.
Higuain can't quite get there. Oh, he's going to nick the ball back, though. This is Gonzalo Higuain from the edge. Can't get there. Ronaldo on the rebound, though. The cross back in. Higuain, will he get another chance at it here? The back heel. What a save by ter Stegen. Griezmann will get this one away, but that's a huge opportunity for Juventus to get back into this game.
Well, it's a massive save from an improvised finish, and the question is, will Chiellini get another chance in this match as good as that one?
Oh, Ronaldo tries to look for the pass, but Piqué is wise to it, but it's been given away. Danny maybe panicking a little bit here towards the end. It's a good ball to Douglas Costa. Higuain onside, turning inside the box, using his strength so well. The finish isn't there, though, but Giorgio is growing into this at the vital moment. 85 minutes gone, it's still 1-0 to Danny. That's two big opportunities for Juventus. They may get another here as well. Sandro will send Ronaldo down this left-hand side. Can he get away from Piqué? The ball into Higuain. ter Stegen is there once again.
Two really strong chances here for Giorgio. Might be a third in a row as well as Cristiano gets the ball back.
Sandro into Higuain again. ter Stegen has just had a powerful 10 minutes. He's been so good for Danny in the past few. Can Juventus have another stab at it here? Sandro to Bonucci. You've got to go forward. Oh, he's giving it away to Luis Suarez. Could this be the final nail in the coffin with Antoine Griezmann? Sandro will try and get it away, but there will be no time for Giorgio Chiellini's Juventus as Danny Care's Barcelona will take a 1-0 victory in this game. A tight affair between these two. It was so close for you, Giorgio, on a couple of occasions, but Danny, that goal in the 7th minute, a fantastic goal by Suarez. He's come up clutch. I wonder, Giorgio, if you'd been on the pitch, whether you would have gone the way of that.
Only have to prevent this situation going before Suarez and put the in order to stop it before, because if you start 1 second later against a player like Suarez, it's finished. You are dead.
But at least you can blame your teammates for that one, Giorgio.
Yeah. No, for tomorrow with Leo in the game, and I have to punish him.
Danny, though, a good performance from yourself. You could have maybe grabbed another there, but happy with your performance against Giorgio.
Oh, I think I've scraped through again, mate. Got an early goal. Like you said, Giorgio was on the pitch. Suarez isn't getting ahead of him. He's doing something to stop. And then I was clinging on. I thought he was going to get one. Then lucky, I was literally waiting for the full-time whistle. So very happy to skate through.
Well, Danny, you will go on through. Giorgio, unfortunately, your time with us on the Solidarity Challenge is done, but thank you very much. You've been a great competitor. So there you go, then Giorgio Chiellini will fall and Danny Care will advance on to the semi-finals. And a really good game for just a 1-0 there, Harry. Danny Care with the early goal and ultimately just holding on.
Yeah, he's representing all rugby players now as the only rugby union lad still in the competition. I think he's doing them very, very proud, taking down Giorgio Chiellini. He had that early chance, did Danny, and the first half looked to be going his way, but Giorgio really, really grew into the game and was unfortunate just to squander a few real gilt-edged opportunities that maybe could have changed the result of the game.
Yeah, well, when I was asking them, I was wondering if Giorgio being on the pitch, you would have maybe got a cross there, but unfortunately not to be. So as said, Giorgio Chiellini will drop out. Danny Kerr will advance on. But that was our final quarter-final game. Here is how they have broken down so far, and our semi-finalists are in the books. Now we can see, of course, that Scott McTominay won his game against Robert Pires, and interesting to see that Liv Cooke won hers as well. But some really good quarterfinals here, Harry, and interested to see how the semis go.
Yeah, it's a good mix of players and representatives here in the semi-finals, the final four. Obviously, you have the likes of professional footballers. You have a freestyle footballer in there with Liv Cooke. You now have a rugby union player with Danny Kerr as well. It's a real mix of talent in there, and it should all work together to just have a nice little melting pot in our final four. It should be a good rest of the tournament, I think.
And here is your semi-final matchups as well. Of course, plenty of variety in there. As you said, you know, we do have professional footballers. We got a rugby player in there as well. It's nice to see a bit of a mix-up. But interested to see how the rest of the tournament's going to go. There's only a couple of games left to go in the Solidarity Challenge. Just to remind you guys at home exactly why we are doing this. It is to support the WHO's COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. You can help and donate at www.solidaritychallenge.org. All donations go directly to the fund. But after this, we do have another game coming up. You don't want to go anywhere. So here we go in the Solidarity Challenge. We are ready to get into the semi-finals. We've seen our quarterfinals now. We only have 4 celebrities remaining. And it's really coming down to the wire now, Harry. And it's going to be an exciting game, the first semi-final. It's going to be Liv Cooke taking on Antoine Griezmann. Yeah,
really fun one now to come, because for me, Liv Cooke has been the surprise package of the entire tournament, purely based on her skills on the sticks. We're able to see her, utilize a lot of tight control in and around the box that other celebrities, sportsmen and women in this tournament haven't quite been able to get to grips with. This one, I think, though, is going to be a bit of a different test going up against Griezmann, who obviously we've mentioned time and time again is a real tournament favorite for the entire Solidarity Challenge. So this one should be fun.
And I think both these guys are pretty much the top scorers, or thereabouts. I know Antoine Griezmann is definitely the top scorer, but Liv has been putting them away as well. 3 past Jermaine Genius, 1 past Mo Farah as well. So she's been doing well. You're very, very right. And we're intrigued to see how she does against the competition of Antoine Griezmann, though. Very much a player who is expected to go on to be the favourite for this tournament. And he's found himself in the semi-final now. But again, just to remind you guys at home, the reason we're doing this, the Solidarity Challenge, is, of course, to support the WHO in their fight against coronavirus. You can donate to that support at www.solidaritychallenge.org. Every single penny does go to the WHO to fight the coronavirus. It goes directly to that fund. But before we do get into our very first semi-final, let's talk to the players. Firstly, before we get into this semi-final, Liv, I'm going to ask you, are you looking forward to playing the tournament favourite Antoine Griezmann?
Yeah, well, of course it's an but I've heard how good he is, so I'm feeling like this could be the end of my winning streak. But no, of course I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good fun.
Excellent. And Antoine, of course, you've been playing well on the virtual pitch, but are you looking forward to getting back on the real pitch when the season does start again for Barcelona?
Yes, j'ai hâte de retrouver les terrains, de jouer les matchs. Après, c'est vrai que le PES est très proche de la réalité, mais j'ai besoin de courir, de célébrer des buts. Donc ouais, on a hâte que le championnat reprenne.
Excellent. Well, good luck to both, and have a good game. Well, here we go then into the very first semi-final. And it is going to be Antoine Griezmann going up against Liv Cooke, and I don't know. Liv has done very, very well so far. But can she defeat Antoine Griezmann, who, as said, very much the tournament favourite going into this? Of course, Antoine Griezmann will be playing as Barcelona, and it will be Liv Cooke playing as Manchester United.
Well, both these competitors, Chris, have gotten tips and tricks from the very top level of the PES esports world, so no doubt we'll see some of them come into fruition here. Not sure who's going to come out on top, though.
First attack maybe here. Antoine Griezmann, it's Nelson Semedo who's trying to creep through. Suarez! It only took 5 minutes for Antoine Griezmann to find the back of the net. It's a somewhat unfortunate goal for Liv to concede. She tried to get her defender in front, but nothing is going to stop Suarez from a few yards out. It's already 1-0 to Barcelona and to Antoine Griezmann.
Goes without saying, not the start that Liv would have wanted. I mean, it's just trickles through, doesn't it? It's a real tough one to concede when you feel like your defender could have done better. Was that Lindelof there at the back?
Oh.
Couldn't quite see exactly who it was, and well, Suarez was in the right place at the right time. Give Griezmann the credit as well for fashioning the chance in the first place. Terrible, terrible start though for Liv. She, for me, needs to score within the next 15, 20 or so in-game minutes without conceding, because, well, as we've seen in previous rounds, when Griezmann gets one, he likes to get 2, 3, 4 in a row. So Liv needs to strike back just to remind Antoine that he's in for a game.
It's a great start for Antoine Griezmann. Having that early lead really does help. Oh, it's a wonderful ball towards Dembele. It's a really, really good interception there. By Liv, though, she'll manage to keep that one out, and Juan Mata will get this one away after the pass from Wan-Bissaka. Great football by Liv, though. Fantastic passes. Oh, Sergio Busquets lunging in. Doesn't want a goal like that conceded. And that's an early yellow card for the Spaniard in the middle.
Well, Griezmann was forced into this, wasn't he, from the really nice, slick passing move from Liv. And, well, that really prevented a goal-scoring opportunity. Needed to be done there by Griezmann.
Ball was clipped forward towards Luke Shaw. Can't find anything there, though, and Griezmann will be able to counter-attack here. Messi spreads it out wide to Frankie de Jong. Of all people out wide. Suarez now shielding the ball back to Dembele. Good defending by Liv, though. Bruno Fernandes will get this one away from Manchester United.
Reverse pass not working out there for Antoine. You can tell his vision and his ability to see the whole pitch is helping him out here.
Griezmann, that's a really good challenge by Matic. Liv coming in with a couple of last-ditch challenges to keep Antoine Griezmann away. Fred hurrying Messi. Semedo will not get on the ball either, and that will be a throw into Liv. Semedo will latch onto this loose ball, but Matic will get it back for Manchester United and for Liv Cooke. And there's actually a run coming in here from Anthony Martial. Clement Langley, though, fellow countryman, getting a hold of the ball there, heading it down, and it's an easy enough challenge for Antoine Griezmann to deal with. And here he goes on the counter-attack now. Griezmann himself keeping it in down this right-hand side, trying to skip past Luke Shaw. He manages to do so, looking to cut it back now. Lionel Messi, edge of the box, is a dangerous proposition. Dembele, though. Back to Frankie de Jong, cuts inside, looking for the bottom right corner, hits the post. Lindelof gets it away. Antoine Griezmann looking for a second. He may just get the chance here. And squeezes it under De Gea. 2-0 in quick succession. We're already 25 minutes gone, and Antoine Griezmann, the trademark celebration comes in. 2-0 to Barcelona and to Antoine Griezmann.
Well, I wondered when we might see that celebration, Chris. It's, well, two really good chances back-to-back for Antoine. He takes the second of the two with some really nice footwork inside the area. Puts the 2017 World Football Freestyle champion to the sword. We said that Griezmann likes to score punches in bunches, as it were. And there's the second goal, and there's the celebration.
Not quite a mountain, but a hill to climb here for Liv Cooke. Oh, she's given away straight away as well on the 26th. I do wonder if Antoine Griezmann has maybe been taking it a little bit easy on his fellow countrymen. Only played against French players up until this point. He's going to whip it in towards Suarez. Messi now on the edge of the box. Just seems to have elevated his game. Semedo now back to Busquets. To Lionel Messi in to De Jong. It's a good move. Stretching it across the pitch. It's Suarez in the box. Maguire harrying him. Semedo to Griezmann. Turning on the edge, finds Lionel Messi, will look to try and put it on his left, but he will chip it forward for Nelson Semedo. This one's cleared away. The attack may just continue though. Martial does get there though, and suddenly Rashford may be in. Also, I do survive the minor scare though. 35 minutes gone, looked comfortable. Matic will get in the way of that one fairly easily. And Liv doesn't seem to be defending too badly here, Harry, but got cut open a couple of times there. Oh, we'll maybe come back to it in a second as Rashford maybe escapes through, but Busquets defends well. But Liv, unfortunately, on the defensive side of things, just hasn't been able to keep a hold of the ball.
Yeah, she's struggled really to break up the high pressing of Griezmann so far, and she just seemed to have run into a brick wall at the back for the Barcelona defence.
Dembele, oh, shrugging away! It's stunning! He just keeps his man off the ball. He uses his body to keep himself in between. Takes one touch and suddenly it's in the back of the net. 3-0 to Barcelona and to Antoine Griezmann.
Well, we said, didn't we, Chris, before the match that this was a bit of a different task for Liv Cooke to go up against. She knew it herself in the pre-match interview. She may have just met her match here in Griezmann, and Antoine, being the tournament favourite that he is always going to score chances like this. Did so well, just using the physicality of Dembele to shield the ball, fashion the chance, and no other defender coming over to support. Just allowed Dembele to shrug off Lindelof, and that's 2 mistakes now for the United defender, of course controlled by Liv Cooke, that, well, have cost goals. Griezmann won't mind. It's his mate Dembele to put himself 3 up in this match.
Unbelievable from Antoine Griezmann. He's really putting Liv to the sword here, unfortunately. It's a big challenge by Gerard Piqué, though.
Yeah, some people might not agree with the way that Antoine's playing this here against Liv Cooke. This is for fun here, Antoine. Let's not go too full-blooded into every single challenge, but this isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. There is still time. An entire second half to play here for Liv. She needs to get to half-time without conceding any more, and then maybe rethink her strategy, maybe make some substitutions and bring in some new personnel that might be able to make the difference, and maybe even switch up the formation just to give her that extra body in midfield, because that's where she's losing out on the ball in key areas at the moment.
Messi marauding forward. Won't be able to find anything from that attack, which is really the opposite of what's happened on every other one. FC Barcelona, of course, 3-0 up now. After 45 minutes, Antoine Griezmann seemingly cruising through to this grand final here on the Solidarity Challenge. And Liv just needs to find something different. See, subs have been made. Williams on for sure, and Pogba's been brought on for Martial as well. Looks like Daniel James is on the pitch too as well. I'm not too sure if he was on the whole game, but we haven't really seen many attacking players from Manchester United to say they've been there. But here we go again. Messi into Griezmann. Can he add further salt to the wounds? Not quite. Busquets will recover it, and it's just got men in every single area of the pitch that he needs to.
Went for a little Rabona pass there, didn't he, Griezmann, pulling out all the tricks here in the semi-final. Triple sub at half-time from Liv Cooke. Dan James, if you were wondering, Chris, which you were, actually one of the 3 brought on along with Williams and Pogba. So a real statement of intent here to attack the second half by Liv. I think she knows she needs to throw the kitchen sink here and really take every opportunity that comes towards her. This one will be a free kick in Griezmann's half, so there's a chance here. If she, takes her first chance, that might just make Antoine rethink his own strategy and just maybe remind himself that he's got work to do.
Bruno Fernandes trying to find Pogba. Mata. Don't think he really wanted that pass to go to Williams. Oh, and Suarez is just going to nick it ahead of time. De Jong. Oh, the run from Dembele is there. Is he onside? It seems that way. Ousmane Dembele moving away. Tries to chip over the keeper. Wan-Bissaka will get it away. A really, really good run, but couldn't quite find that end product. Rashford now can't get anywhere near this Barcelona defence. Semedo's there, back and challenging too. It's been a really good all-round performance so far, 60 minutes in from Antoine Griezmann.
It has, and you can tell the way that he's playing with this Barcelona squad. His footballing brain is very much switched on and plugged in here on the virtual pitch as well. Very, very similar. Lots of similarities to how Barcelona play in the real world. Obviously getting bodies in the opposition half, just keeping possession, frustrating the enemy, in which case, of course, the friendly enemy in Liv Cooke for the Solidarity Challenge. But it's been a complete performance, and for those at home who might have been wondering why we were billing Antoine Griezmann as a pre-tournament favourite, well, I think you can see here this is why.
Griezmann now finds Messi. Edge of the box on his left foot. A dangerous proposition. Suarez now inside the box. Straight there this time. One of the only times we've seen a really big chance not be converted. Really has been ruthless in his attacks and his defensive work. Antoine Griezmann. Oh, Rashford may nick in here though, and he's got past. Piqué, I don't know if he's going to catch up. Is the pass going to come in? Goes to chip the keeper. And that's Liv's first, and maybe her only big chance here. 70 minutes gone. And that would have maybe made things a little bit interesting in this final 20, but she can't convert.
Would she have seen the pass on to Dan James on this near side? It will be brought back for a foul on Griezmann from his compatriot Paul Pogba, but the pass was on to Dan James. He was arriving late. She went for goal with Rashford. In the end, didn't come off. She might come back to rue that decision. That would have been a lifeline in this match.
Pass was definitely on. And would have sealed the deal for at least a goal. Maguire with some good defending though, just getting his body in the way. Pogba and Williams will combine. And maybe, just maybe, something could be on the cards here for Liv. If she can grab a goal early in this next 15 in-game minutes, then maybe something could happen. But as it goes, she's lost the ball. Suarez to Griezmann. Looking to turn inside. That will be a foul by Harry Maguire. A potential dangerous situation here for Liv. And Antoine will be looking for number 4.
Yeah, it's quite far out. It's very central though, Chris, but has enough distance on it to get up and over the wall. So Griezmann might go for a top corner special here.
Griezmann. Straight at De Gea. An easy enough chance for Spania together, and now actually going to lose the ball here though. Messi will recover it. Busquets on the inside looking for the pass forward. Will he find Griezmann inside the box? Yes, he will. Is it 4? So clinical every single time.
Oh, wow.
Antoine Griezmann grabs his brace in the 80th minute, and there's the celebration again. It's 4-0. He is cruising through to the grand final.
Cheeky from Griezmann. Maguire shakes his head, but, well, he's just been done completely, as has De Gea in the Man United net. Wonderful bit of movement. Not only from Griezmann, but also the pass to find him as well. We'll see it here again on the replay. It's from so deep. From Busquets right onto Antoine's feet. He was in behind Williams, I believe it was, at the left-back position for Man United. And, well, you can't let Antoine Griezmann on the inside. The cheekiest of chips to just take it over the Spaniard. And he's in the grand finals now. Will we see that celebration one more time for the hat-trick? That's the real question.
It's time for it. 9 in-game minutes. Or can Liv grab herself a consolation goal? I think the case is, unfortunately, when you're playing against a player of Griezmann's quality, when you give the ball away, it just makes his job a little bit easier, doesn't it? Suarez to Griezmann. He wants that hat-trick. Can't quite find that ball to be latched onto. Once again, it's given away. Suarez bundled over by Matic. The referee maybe sympathetically waves on play. Wan-Bissaka can't go anywhere. Big challenge by Jordi Alba. De Jong out wide to Ousmane Dembele. You can only imagine he'd be looking for Antoine Griezmann. Suarez to Messi. Maguire diving in. Semedo. Messi looking to try and get on his left peg. He cannot. Matic will get there.
Looking for Griezmann was Antoine there, and he would have been frustrated with his virtual player just waltzing and saundering, taking an age to get back on side. He would have been frustrated.
And will be a free kick to Barcelona in the Manchester United half. Paul Pogba with another foul there. So it does seem as if Liv Cooke's journey and the Solidarity Challenge is coming to an end. But Antoine Griezmann marches on. As we expected, a 4-0 win for Barcelona, about to tick on in. One more free kick here for Lionel Messi to potentially take. He's putting Griezmann on this, isn't he?
100% he is. And it's in a similar position to the one he missed a few moments ago. I wonder if he'll try and go a bit more to the right this time over the wall.
Well, could it be 5? Griezmann. He won't threaten to here, but he has threatened the whole game. Barcelona, Antoine Griezmann deal a 4-0 win up against Manchester United and Liv Cooke in the semi-finals here, the Solidarity Challenge that had just opened up so quickly. The goals came fast and they came frequent. But Barcelona and Antoine Griezmann will make it to the final. All right, guys, a great semi-final, a good performance from Antoine. But Liv, I will come to you first. Unfortunately, was Antoine just a little bit too much for you? Is there anything you could have done there?
A little bit. I think you're right. I heard big things about his level, and I tell you what, I knew, to be honest, I kind of knew inside me that this was the end of my journey, but I still had a bit of faith. But honestly, in the game, he was better than they said he was, and he completely deserves the win.
Antoine, congratulations. You make it to the finals of the Solidarity Challenge here. Are you feeling good in your gameplay going into the final?
Yes, on va s'entraîner ce soir et un peu demain matin. Et je pense qu'on sera prêt pour cette grande finale. Et je voulais remercier Liv pour ce bon moment et aussi lui souhaiter plein de bonnes choses pour sa carrière et plein de titres de champion du monde.
Okay, well, Liv, commiserations, but thank you very much for your participation. You've been a great sport, and Antoine, we'll see you in the final. So there we go then, Antoine Griezmann once again proving that he is a very, very competent PES player. Liv Cooke dealt a lot of damage there, wasn't she? 4-0 to Antoine Griezmann, and it honestly could have been more, Harry. But Antoine is surely going to be the favourite going into the final.
Yeah, he's playing some really free-flowing, high-scoring PES so far, something that we haven't really seen too much out of the other participations in the Solidarity Challenge. That's why we favour him as the lock, really, to win the entire thing. For Liv, she played a really good tournament up until this point, but I don't think Griezmann's defence really allowed the 2017 World Freestyle Champion the free reign in some of the amazing runs that she made and the close footwork that helped her get past some of the other competitors here in the Solidarity Challenge.
Yeah, she played well up until this point. It was always going to be difficult. Of course, Antoine, I said, he's had plenty of practice on the game, knows it very, very well, and of course, fantastic footballer in his own right as well. It's very hard to break him down, can defend and attack well. But we do have one more semi-final, try and figure out who he's going to meet in that grand final. It will be Scott McTominay up against Danny Kerr. Now, what are we thinking in that one? Both players have looked good so far.
Yeah, both really strong competitors. For Danny Kerr, he's has a lot of people's hopes riding on his shoulders, obviously representing a non-footballers at this point in the competition. Obviously, all the rugby lads will be behind him as well. So should be a fun one. I think Scott McTominay probably has the edge, but anything can happen in PES.
Anything can indeed happen. But as said, the Solidarity Challenge is to help the WHO COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. If you do want to donate, and you can donate, please go to www.solidaritychallenge.org. All donations go directly to the fund. But as mentioned, coming up next is the second semi-final. It's going to be Scott McTominay taking on Danny Kerr. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second semi-final here in the Solidarity Challenge. We, of course, do have Danny Kerr taking on Scott McTominay. Danny Kerr's been on a bit of a roll here, going up against another footballer. He just dealt with Giorgio Chiellini, of course, today. So can he go on and do the same against Scott McTominay? What are we thinking here, Harry? Scott has been up and down, sort of. We were expecting maybe some better performances out of him, but we haven't yet seen his PES prowess that we were expecting to.
Certainly don't think we've seen the best out of Scott McTominay so far, but Danny is, I mean, he's proven already that he can dispatch professional footballers. So if I was Scott McTominay going into this match, I might be a little bit worried about this one because, well, Danny can be a bit of a banana peel, clearly, for some of these footballers.
And clearly, and I think his win against Giorgio Chiellini is really what solidified Danny as one of the favourites for this one. Giorgio looked really good against Yaya Toure, but struggled to score past him, and Danny honestly had a couple more chances that he could have made it even further into the lead. But Scott, as said, he really hasn't necessarily flexed his attacking muscles that we have seen previously yet so far, beating Robert Pires and Luis Saha, and of course Danny beating Giorgio Chiellini in the quarterfinals and Matthew Best of Row, of course, in the first round. But it is, of course, another footballer against another footballer up against a rugby player, and we're interested to get into this game. It's going to be Danny taking on Scott McTominay, and we are going to have a quick chat just before the game. All right, boys, you're about to get into your semi-final. We're excited for it. It's coming to the business end of the competition now as well. But first and foremost, just want to chat a little bit about this because obviously the Solidarity Challenge is to raise money for the Solidarity Response Fund. And we just wanted to get your take on the whole lockdown, etc., how it has affected you. Firstly, I'm going to go to you, Scott. How do you feel it's going to be playing without fans in the stadium? That's going to be a strange one, surely.
Yeah, we've had one experience of it. It was our last game that we played away at Lask, and it's very strange. It is, honestly, it's a strange experience. It's a different one, but it's something that you have to relish and obviously not look too much into not having people there watching and big crowds and stuff like that. So for us, it'll be hopefully business as usual. Everyone just doing the best, acting as if there was a normal crowd there, and just trying to really get some big wins under our belt as well when we get back.
And Danny, for you, looking forward to getting the season maybe resumed at some point, or just getting back to rugby in general?
Yeah, mate, I'm dying to get out of the house, to be honest, pal. 2 kids here, it's a tough old shift. So yeah, back training in some capacity next week, I think in small groups, and then they've set a target date about 10 weeks' time for us to play. So yeah, boys are itching to get back. I was just telling Scott, I can't wait to see some of the shape of some of our big lads because we're going to see it next week. So yeah, looking forward to getting back in.
Yeah. The lockdown weight has plagued me myself anyway, so intrigued to see. I hope the athletes will be fine. But of course, we're ready to get into your next game now. How are we feeling ahead of the semi-final here, Scott?
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a good game. Hopefully it'll be a good watch as well, and hopefully 2 fiercely competitive individuals go at it. So it should be a good one.
And Danny, you must be feeling good after your win against Giorgio there. Are you feeling confident, or are you just eager to get into the game and see what happens?
Nah, I've got a feeling I might have met my maker here. You know, we've got a young guy in his prime, spends a lot of time. I imagine. And, you know, he's playing as himself. He's playing as his own team again. So, yeah, I mean, the pressure's obviously all going to be on Scott. I'm just here to support the fun.
I don't give it all this pressure's on me. I know what he's like. He's been practicing. I can see by looking at him. He's been practicing.
I'm just here to raise awareness, mate, and try and help.
Well, thank you very much, boys, and good luck in the game. So here we go then. Danny Kerr taking on Scott McTominay, the second semi-final. Who will find themselves in that grand final now will be Manchester United. Scott McTominay taking on Barcelona's Danny Kerr in the second semi-final. Excited to see how this one unfolds.
It's great to see as well the mind games in the pre-match interview, you know, trying to exploit maybe the mental state of Scott McTominay, who's no doubt going to be the favourite in this matchup. For Danny, I think he can just let loose a little bit. I think he's done well to come this far, and anything more is, well, it's going to be a bonus result. This is, of course, all just to raise awareness, as Danny said in the interview, but you know it means a bit more than that for these 2 competitors.
Oh, yeah, there was definitely some mind games going on. definitely mind games going on in the chat there before, so I'm
We'd love to
interested to
see
see. Yeah, absolutely. I want all the mind games. Scott McTominay, of course, you know, Manchester United, you're talking Alex Ferguson, etc., etc. So one of those where it's bred within Manchester United players, I suppose, isn't it? But here we go. 8 minutes in, neither player really getting any sort of big chance. McTominay now would love a goal with himself, wouldn't he? Greenwood to Rashford. Out to Mata, maybe an opportunity here. Side netting from the Spaniard. Not going to be able to take that chance, but a good first opportunity coming in from Scott McTominay.
Yeah, first one of the entire game is always a good one to get under your belt. I think this was a difficult angle to beat Ter Stegen from. Would have had to produce something special, but you're right. It was the first opportunity, and I think that will give Scott a bit of confidence going forward. Danny's going to have to very much mind his P's and Q's at the back and make sure he doesn't give up any silly opportunities here.
Ball will fall for Dembele, back to De Jong, and the ball forward towards Suarez was dangerous. And after his goal against Juventus and Giorgio Chiellini, he's going to be looking for that man Suarez time and time again. Marty Miller now down this left-hand side will just get bullied off the ball by Rakitic. Mata now to Rashford. That's an ambitious ball, and Piqué will get in the way. But both players showing that they do have that attacking prowess, at least. There should be goals in this game. Ousmane Dembele, Suarez, Busquets. They get a nosebleed going that far forward. McTominay will set up the counter-attack here for Manchester United. Seems to be the final third. The final ball is wanting from both players, but Marty Miller is going to have a shot here now. And that will swing wide of the right-hand side. But another opportunity there for Scott. It was a gifted one at that as well, Harry.
It was. Just closing down was Marty Miller. A player that a lot of people at home might not be too confident or not confident, familiar with, I suppose. One of the Manchester United youth setup. Really, really strong player in this stat balance mode. Has a lot of height and a lot of strength about him, which is why some of the professional players representing Manchester United like to turn to him at the top level.
Lindelof will get in the way in. Ousmane Dembele now to Jordi Alba, not necessarily known for his prowess in front of goal. That's not that far away though. Comes back out to him, and it's not a terrible effort, but you maybe would like to see that at the feet of Suarez, the feet of Lionel Messi, or even Ousmane Dembele there rather than Jordi Alba.
Yeah, some of those shots can sometimes trickle in. It was a bit of an awkward bounce. Had it just had enough curl and spin on it to get it in between the goalposts, but wasn't troubling De Gea that time. Needs a bit of a stronger effort next time round.
Mata now to Greenwood, to Rashford. This is really, really nice football from Scott McTominay. It will be played away though. Messi, through the legs of Matic, and he manages to squeeze by. Suarez can't quite get it through. De Jong, though, does have a little bit of pace about him. Dembele, a little bit of room. Suarez, back to Dembele, the Frenchman looking to score the first goal. David De Gea, very wise to it. And this ball will be played away, but a good opportunity there for Barcelona and for Danny Kerr.
Yeah, the best of the game so far, I would argue. Real central, had Dembele running onto it, but just lacked that finishing touch. Maybe a bit more pace and accuracy on the shot, and there's a chance.
And Suarez is in here. Can he make it 1-0? What a save by the Spaniard, David De Gea. Dembele whips it in, but De Gea will be there once again. And that is a big, big opportunity there for Danny. Suarez not able to convert this time. He's been clinical for Danny so far.
Looks threatening, doesn't he, Danny? So far, he looks very much up for this semi-final.
33 minutes gone, and it really has been a close game so far. Sergio Roberto now stretching his legs down this right-hand side, and he may go all the way here. Sergio Roberto strikes it with his left, and it's easily collected, but a lung-busting run, which will be played away by Scott McTominay, but he may have given it away again. The pass is wayward towards Dembele. Not often Frankie de Jong will make that kind of mistake. Speaking of his mistakes, so McTominay has given it away with himself. Suarez now to Dembele. Ball into the box. Lionel Messi leaping. infamously scored a fantastic header against Manchester United once. The leap up against Rio Ferdinand, I think it was. And this time round, trying it once again. Not going to happen that time, though. The opportunities, though, do seem to be falling a little bit more to Danny here.
Yeah, it was an encouraging opening 20 or so in-game minutes for McTominay, but Danny's really building on the pressure he's sustained in the last 10 or so. So we'll see if he can get anything from it as half-time rapidly approaches.
Greenwood now back to McTominay. Rashford back to Matt there, and then back to Rashford again. It's well worked. Damani Mella, can he manage to squeeze on through? Good defending. I think it's Sergio Roberto who gets back in the end. And Messi will get away with this down the right-hand side. What can the magician do? It's a good ball in towards Suarez. Not going to quite get there, though. In the end, it is actually quite a poor pass. And that will be the end of the half. Action-packed, but no goals to talk about yet.
Real chance for Danny on that far side with Leo Messi. Not sure if he actually realised he had a bit more room to manoeuvre and a bit more time on his hands than he did, but you can tell Danny is very confident in his dribbling runs. He's noticing McTominay's a little bit weak when coming towards the ball, so he'll try and exploit that more in the second half.
Dembele in towards Suarez once again. The cross in has worked for Danny before. De Jong thanks to shot and not really test David De Gea there. Just seems as if Scott has given the ball away a couple of, well, maybe too many a time, but I say that as Danny gives it away, and then Scott gives it straight back to him. Messi now. Room in front of him with options as well. Mata will get in the way, though. So industrious in the middle at times. Juan Mata and Rashford trying to get away. Can't quite. Busquets is back. The Spaniard covering where he can. Damani Miller now down this left-hand side will send Marcus Rashford away. Piqué giving chase as well, but Rashford definitely has the pace on him here. Can he get the ball in? No. Cutting across with Gerard Piqué. The referee may have looked at it, but no penalty given that.
Strong challenge and a good counter here coming for Danny as well. Might be time to look for the substitutes for both sides. We've seen Danny Care really like to utilise Antoine Griezmann, brought on late, and no doubt Scott McTominay has plenty on the bench as well. So just look for the substitutes maybe to make an impact here soon, Chris. You have the likes of Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes here for Manchester United, still yet to be introduced. It might just be a game changer waiting on the bench.
Tired legs will be coming into play. 60 minutes gone. Nobody able to break the deadlock so far between Danny Care and Scott McTominay. Messi now for Danny here down this right-hand side. Ball in. Not very good, though. Oh, McTominay is going to lose it in the middle with Scott McTominay. Dembele now trying to find that pass through to Messi. Not going to happen this time round. And again, it just seems to be that final pass in the final third. Mostly for Danny in the second half, though. Scott really hasn't had anything to write home about. Messi now. Wriggling through where he can. He's inside the box. Lionel Messi's so dangerous in these areas. But Fosu Mensah will get across, but will lose it. Messi now whips it in. And Matic will just about get there first. Suarez and Dembele were lingering. Greenwood now. It's a wayward ball. And once again, that final pass not working out for either player.
Just seems to be running out of ideas here. McTominay comes forward again, though.
Oh, Rashford is in! And all of a sudden, he's been pinned back the whole half. And Scott McTominay will get a goal with Marcus Rashford to make it 1-0 with 20 to go.
Well, just as I said, he's running out of ideas. It's Danny Care who gifts him a golden one. Straight from Ter Stegen's hands. Throws it right to a Manchester United midfielder, and well, within two passes, Rashford's there to slot it home. It's a really bad error for what has been a tremendous defensive performance so far from Danny Care. But it's against the run of play for Scott McTominay, and the Manchester United man, he's stolen a goal with Marcus Rashford.
Well, what is Danny made of here? We can see Griezmann is on now as well. Fosu Mensah will try to get this one away, but If you're Danny, you feel aggrieved with how much of the ball you've had in the second half specifically. You may have a chance here though. Sergio Roberto whips it in. Suarez is lingering. Oh, and the Uruguayan would like that chance again. Wide of the left post, and it's a delicious ball in. Towards the back post. Suarez is there, and he's got to do better.
Well, I thought the earlier chance which came to Messi on his head, I thought to myself, oh, maybe if Suarez is on that one, he gets a better connection. That's a perfect opportunity to get the equaliser there for Danny. Just couldn't quite steer the header on target. Such a shame.
Rakitic now. 75 minutes gone, and that is a brilliant ball to Suarez. De Gea may get there first, but there's been a collision. This one should be going out for a corner. I think that's deflected off a Manchester United defender, and it has done. Leo Messi now, 76 minutes gone to whip the corner in. Goes towards the front post. Frankie de Jong can't quite get there, but Rakitic on the deflection. It's going to be Suarez in the box. Which way is this one going to go? It's off the line, and De Gea puts it out for another corner. How is that not went in?
Well, it's absolute chaos from the corner. It's Rakitic with the initial chance. Suarez then, I think, just went for a scooped shot. Was just off target. Hits the post. David De Gea just gets it out of danger. And boy, the pressure is mounting here on McTominay's goal. Danny Care not giving up this one at all.
Messi in again into the middle. Suarez is there. And that is another corner. The pressure mounting. Messi whips it in. That should be easy for Matic to clean up. Fasu Mensah will be able to get this one away. Busquets, though, will retrieve it. Jordi Alba, Messi looking for Suarez. Just a little bit too short for that opportunity. And De Gea will get this one away. It's a cracking goal kick, in fairness, and Damani Mella will get a hold of it as well. 9 minutes to go. Sergio Roberto will just about get there as well. Do or die now. Danny's going to have to find something. Suarez not going to be able to get on that one. Lindelof trying to get rid of it. Nice calm PES here from the Manchester United man in Scott McTominay. Mata looking to seal it here. Just needs a good run. Damani Mella will be offside, although he will test to Stegen. So still time here for Danny Care to get back into this game. Can he force penalties? Could he even find a winner if he finds two? Maybe hard pressed. 87 minutes gone. Barely any time now. Alba to Langley. Messi now rushes that final pass. Fasu Mensah will get this one away. McTominay will send one Mata, but Piqué comes flying out of the defense. Rakitic can't quite get there, though. That might have just left a little bit of room here behind Marcus Rashford. Can he beat ter Stegen there? Oh, he's going to tackle the goalkeeper. This is surely going to be it. Marcus Rashford to seal the deal. Scott McTominay, one of the favourites for the tournament, will find a 2-0 win over Danny Care's Barcelona.
Well, Tris, it's absolutely calamitous at the back. The virtual Manchester United players know that they have just scored the goal that seals them their route to the final. Controlled by, well, coach Scott McTominay. It was great high pressing from Rashford. It honestly should be cleared there by ter Stegen. Just doesn't queue up an input. Danny Care, and I think 2-0's a bit harsh on him. He's chased the game for, well, since the goal went in initially for Scott McTominay, but this is a bad defensive error. Rashford always alert to it, and, well, it's a gift. It really is. Commiserations to Danny Care. Danny's put up a great showing all tournament long, but he's met his maker, as he said in the pre-match interview here, in Scott McTominay.
It would take an absolute miracle for Danny Care to come back into this one now. Can he maybe find himself a consolation goal? Busquets, the man running forward. That one will go out to play, and that will be the last kick of the game as Marcus Rashford grabbing a brace for Manchester United and Scott McTominay. He will be heading into the final of the Solidarity Challenge. All right, boys, a good game there. And Scott, just maybe, taking advantage of a couple of little mistakes by Danny there in the end to find the 2-0 win.
Yeah, I was in trouble, to be honest. I was up to 70 minutes when I scored. I was in big trouble. So I was thinking in my head, this could be a long day going to penalties again. But obviously it was a mistake. So I was lucky enough to get that, and it was a decent free ball, to be fair. So no, it was I rode my luck at times anyway.
And Danny, that's got to be a hard one to bear. You had most of the ball, especially in the second half up until the goal, but just couldn't find that gilt edge opportunity. The one with Suarez, the header, was the one I pointed out that I thought maybe he could have done a little bit better in that one, but an unfortunate loss, I would say.
Chris, you got to take your chances at the top level. You know what I mean? It's one of them. Semi-final comes around, you got to take your chances. Suarez is trying to reverse lob over the keeper. I'm not sure how I did that with the controller, but nah, Scott he deserved the win. Took his chances well, and I'm backing him to go all the way.
Oof. Well, Scott, you will now go to the final, which I'm sure will be tough. But Danny, you've been a great competitor. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, mate. Enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
really appreciate that.
So there we go. Then it will be Scott McTominay going into that grand final. And I think Danny will feel a little bit aggrieved by that one. It has to be said. He had probably the better of the chances up until Scott scored, I would think, Harry.
Yeah, he certainly seemed to reflect that in the post-match interview, didn't he? He seemed a bit almost like he was robbed. He actually mentioned Suarez, obviously, with that chip. He wasn't sure exactly how he did it. And to be honest with you, I'm not either. But he's certainly, for the rugby union player, put on a really good show. You can tell he was quite confident with how he was controlling his players throughout the entire tournament. And it's just a shame, really, that his tournament run ends here in the semi-final. But well beaten in the end, I think, by Scott McTominay.
Yeah, Scott just took his chances that he found to him, especially the second one was just gilt edge, and Danny just lingered on the ball too long with the keeper. The first one was obviously given away by the keeper again, and then it's just one of these scenarios where Scott still has work to do, but did very well with it, and in the end, he took his chances, and Danny just unfortunately could not with Barcelona, but there you go. He will go on into the final. Just to remind you guys why we are doing the Solidarity Challenge before we do wrap it up. Of course, it is to support the WHO in the fight against coronavirus. The COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund is what we are donating to. You can donate at www.solidaritychallenge.org. Every single penny of those donations go towards helping fight the coronavirus. Now, we do have the grand final coming up very, very shortly. You don't want to go anywhere. So here we go then, the Solidarity Challenge Grand Finals. It is going to be Scott McTominay taking on Antoine Griezmann. And I'm glad to welcome back Darren Fletcher to the fold. I've obviously been here with Harry the whole way through today. Darren, very excited to get into this grand final.
Absolutely. And I've been looking at the results, and Antoine Griezmann basically has just continued on that level all the way through. I'm interested today whether Scott can go again, because I think if you look at Scott's results, yes, he's done well to get to the final, but I still think based on the results and the way he's played so far, he's got a little bit to find. I don't know whether Harry would agree with that, but I think he's got a bit to find on Griezmann. I think he goes in as the favourite. Can he maintain the standard that he's set? And if he can't, has Scott got that little bit more for the final just to get him up there so he can really make an impact?
Yeah, Harry, I mean, how good did Antoine look yesterday? I think Darren's very right in the sense that Scott really does need to find another level, you think. If Antoine plays the same way, though, he's got to be the favourite, surely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he has the highest average scoring of so far of the entire challenge. Don't think he scored less than 4 so far. So yeah, I think Scott definitely needs to find that little bit extra. I feel like this is going to be a different kind of test though for Griezmann himself, because I feel like McTominay probably the best defensive sided team in terms of a competitor in this tournament so far. I feel like Griezmann might have a few issues breaking him down in the attacking side of the gameplay. So we'll have to see if Griezmann can maybe start to chip away at the McTominay defense and get an early goal, then it could be over before, even half time. But if McTominay can hold on, then you never know.
You never know, but just to remind you guys at home as to why we are doing the Solidarity Challenge, of course it is to support the WHO in the fight against coronavirus. The COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund is something you can donate to from your home, www.solidaritychallenge.org. Every single penny of that donation goes directly to the fund and to the WHO to fight against the coronavirus. But let's have a look at how these two guys found themselves here. As I said, we've touched on some of their games, but this is how things have broken down. Antoine Griezmann, first and foremost, went up against Ludovic Giulia, I should say, 5-0 there. Then Blaise Matuidi, his French international teammate, 4-0 there. 4-0 against Liv Cooke in the semi-final as well. Has just been free-flowing scoring very, very easily across the 2 days. Now, of Scott McTominay, a little bit of a closer affair for him. 3-2 on pens against Luis Saha, 2-1 versus Robert Pires, and only 2-0 against Danny Kerr. So it's definitely been a bit more of a tough task at hand for Scott McTominay to find himself here. But maybe I'm sort of thinking to myself, Harry, that, having these close games, do you think it'll give him some sort of momentum into this one? Whereas Antoine Griezmann's just breezed past people. He's been playing easy pets.
Yeah, well, this is it, isn't it? McTominay hasn't had the headline Hollywood score lines. He hasn't just been blasting past everyone. He's had to, take his punches, take his lumps. And I think you're right. I think that might give him a bit of momentum here. Griezmann hasn't really been tested so far to the extent that McTominay has in previous rounds. So yeah, I think that will settle him down nicely ahead of this final here.
I think,
Aaron, what are you thinking?
This is the classic boxer puncher. This is the wrecking ball going into the ring who's stopping everybody in the first round. And then you've got can the other fella come in, keep himself out the way for a little bit and maybe nick it on points. There's going to be a battle of tactics here. When you look at Griezmann's record all the way through, it's phenomenal. When you think how close Scott McTominay came to going out to Luis Saha in the very first game, and here he is in the final. But I think this is going to be fascinating. Will the defensive player, the organisation, will that slow Antoine Griezmann down? Or is he just going to carry on rampaging through the tournament and win it? I think it's fascinating.
Well, we're going to find out very, very shortly. But before we do get into the game, Darren is going to chat to the players.
So, gentlemen, we reach the final. Scott, the last time we spoke, you just survived the penalty shootout against Luis Saha. Since then, you've managed to get through to the final. How are you thinking about this one today, then, against Antoine?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I know he plays the game a lot, so it'll be an interesting game. But no, it's all for a good cause, and obviously to be in the final is brilliant. So no, should be good fun.
Antoine, so you've not conceded a goal. You've scored lots of goals. You've absolutely stormed into the final today. You must be really confident.
Non, c'est une finale, donc tout peut se passer, mais voilà, très très heureux de pouvoir jouer contre Scott, et j'espère que ce sera un bon match pour le public, et voilà, que le meilleur gagne.
So what do you do, Scott, when you look at his record and he's scoring 4s and 5s and all that kind of thing? You've had a well-organised team, though, on the way to the final. So are you confident that you can slow Antoine's team down?
No, but no. It's a game. Anything can happen in 90 minutes. So he might be an underdog, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure he's very, very good.
Okay, Antoine, you've been the favourite all the way through. You've got Scott in the final, but you will know that Scott's team has been difficult to score on, so you will have to play well in the final.
Bah, j'espère aussi. Je pense que ça va être un bon match, et voilà, je vais essayer de garder la balle, de faire tourner le ballon et de ne pas prendre de but, parce que devant, je peux faire mal à tout moment.
Fellas, good luck to both of you. We will speak after. So, it all comes down to this. Antoine Griezmann against Scott McTominay. FC Barcelona against Manchester United. The final. And I'm really looking forward to this one, Harry.
Yeah, me too. It's interesting to see what kind of lineup Griezmann feels. He's in previous rounds settled into a sort of almost a front four with Messi, Dembele, Suarez, and himself on this near side featuring. So that leaves little room for attacking substitutes late in the game. We'll see if it comes back to bite him.
There's the first Antoine Griezmann attack, and the defending not that decisive initially from Scott McTominay, but he's got Victor Lindelof on hand over there to clear it away. And now Scott McTominay, controlling himself, can bring Manchester United forward for the first time in the final. Sergio Busquets, though, now has it back for Barcelona. And here's Luis Suarez and Eric Bailly back there. I wonder whether this is going to settle into a pattern of an attacking team in Antoine Griezmann and an organised team for Scott McTominay. And Scott will know then that when the chances come, he's got to take them.
Well, it's a really good question, and one that we'll definitely get the answer to come the end of the match. And speaking of lineup, Scott going with the tried and tested esports first 11, I suppose you could say, with some youth players in there, the likes of Damani Mella, the likes of Tuan Zebe at the back. Here he is on the ball now. He's certainly willing to listen to the Manchester United esports captain, Eldridge O'Neill, and it's helped him out so far.
It's at Mason Greenwood, and now Marcus Rashford, who was looking to try and turn inside the Barcelona penalty area. He'd been nice and patient there in the build-up. Scott McTominay. Here comes Antoine Griezmann controlling this Barcelona team with Lionel Messi on the ball, and now Frenkie de Jong. They've been such a free-scoring team, Griezmann's side, all the way to the final, 4s and 5s. He's actually yet to concede a goal, so that's going to be the first problem that Scott has, is to try and somehow have enough possession and generate a chance that's good enough so he can actually score. Here's Mata, and now Damani Mella.
No.
And now Bailly.
No, Scott.
Scott McTominay winning it back for Scott McTominay against Antoine Griezmann. It seems as though Scott wants to keep the ball as long as he can, Harry, when he's got it.
Yeah, certainly. Doesn't want to give up possession too far up the pitch and allow that counter-attack of Barcelona to come in. But look at the high press.
Dembele to Suarez, but that decision's going to go Manchester United's way, which will be relief to Scott McTominay. Suarez just offside.
And I think, Darren, one of the real reasons we've seen such high scoring from Griezmann so far this competition is because of the success he's had with Messi in that 10 role behind the front three. It's been a really proficient counter-attacking squad that he's been able to use, and Messi's been the catalyst for it.
Got to give some credit here, though, to Scott, because he's made a really solid start. He's not allowed Antoine to get the early goal and to get that early momentum and all those early attacks that we've seen in the games on the way to the final, but he has actually managed to make this a relatively even start, which will give him confidence.
Might even argue he's having the lion's share of possession here as well.
Here's Greenwood looking to turn, but Jordi Alba was there for Antoine Griezmann, and here's Dembele. Very cagey start to the final. Griezmann gives it away to Fosu Mensah. Here's Matic, and now McTominay.
No.
Juan Mata won't get there, but it will be a throw into Manchester United and more possession for them inside Antoine Griezmann's half.
It's really rare, Darren, that you'll see a PES game without a chance in the first half an hour in game time. It's clearly means a lot to both of these players. Maybe, you know, the concentration levels being so high that they might be missing a few chances here and there, some runners off the ball. So you can tell it means a lot to them, even though it's a, you know, friendly, just for fun competition. They want to be the victor of it.
Well, in boxing terms, at the moment, the boxer is still on his feet against the puncher. And Scott's going to be delighted with the way that his team have started the final. Here's Frenkie de Jong, and now Suarez. And Scott McTominay, of all people, for Scott McTominay is the defender back there, but I think he's just gone a little bit far. Is that going to be a corner? I think it is. Corner to Antoine Griezmann, and Barcelona, the first set piece for Scott McTominay to have to defend. Corner taken by Messi, headed away by Bailly, and then Busquets didn't gather it. Here's Nelson Semedo, Antoine Griezmann. Still Griezmann with the shot, and the first save for David De Gea. And Scott McTominay survives the first serious test from Antoine Griezmann.
Yeah, it was more of a half chance than anything. It was in an okay position, but De Gea saw it all the way.
Here's Jordi Alba, the rampaging fullback, coming forward. Lindelof is over there. Now Dembele. Messi with the chance, and Messi puts it wide. And that was a very good chance for Antoine Griezmann.
Much better chance, this one. One that really should be finding the back of the net. Did so well to find Messi with the late run. And oh, you just need that to be on target. Maybe that's the first goal here in the final.
That was so close to being 1-0 to Barcelona, 1-0 to Griezmann in the final. The Solidarity Challenge final between Antoine Griezmann and Scott McTominay. Now, Scott McTominay controlling Manchester United, Antoine Griezmann controlling Barcelona, representing their respective clubs. Ter Stegen in possession here for Antoine Griezmann. We did say privately before this started that we felt that Scott needed to have it close going into the second half, and it looks as though it's going to be that way.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy with the performance so far in the first half, especially if he's able to keep this clean sheet for the next 2 or so in-game minutes. I think that would be a success for him.
There's Dembele. Now De Jong. He's been very well organised defensively all the way through the tournament, Scott. And the decision will go to Manchester United there for the offside. So half-time, Harry, 0-0.
0-0 it is, and I think if we're sticking with the boxing analogy, I think round one would definitely go to McTominay. I mean, Griezmann's certainly had his chances, but I think McTominay will be the happier fighter. Mostly glancing blows, if you will. Not so much saved by the bell. We'll have to see if round two is anything to go by.
He's certainly managed to avoid the big haymaker at this stage. We will see what happens, though, in the second half. 0-0, penalties if necessary. And that Scott's defensive organisation that's been a key of his path to the final is there for everybody to see again. Antoine's test in the second half is to try and get the attacks as incisive and as imaginative as they've been in the previous rounds. It's Juan Mata, up to Marcus Rashford. Now Scott McTominay, and the tackle made in there by Jordi Alba. That might well have been the moment for Scott McTominay to score for Scott McTominay, but not to be. Given away there by Dembele. Here's Greenwood. Mellor. Shot by Mellor, and that's over. But it's the first shot that Scott McTominay's had in the final, and another little moment there to increase his confidence.
Yeah, he's building early on in this second half. There was a run on there. I think it was Marcus Rashford that might have just been too close to goal to get a through pass through without Ter Stegen coming to collect. But he gets his shot away at least, and, well, that'll be some warning signs maybe for Griezmann. Just reminding him that, well, this final is not a sure thing. McTominay's proven in earlier rounds he can score from open play. So we'll have to see.
Here's Messi. A little bit of space for him. And then Griezmann had carried on running, and Antoine Griezmann is in, and he's put it wide. He's disappointed. Eric Bailly was the defender for Scott. That was an opportunity, though, for Antoine Griezmann to be Griezmann's hero.
Yeah, Griezmann with the late run, and, well, Bailly came across. Didn't quite see from that replay whether or not he got a touch or whether it was Griezmann's shot that went wide. Looks like it will be a corner.
And the corner's taken short here to Nelson Semedo, and Mason Greenwood with the block for Scott McTominay. Here's De Jong. Alba. And driven in, and they're all over the place, but they managed to get it clear again. Scott McTominay was helping out Scott there himself, and now the counter-attack's on. Greenwood to Mata, and then Mellor, and Rashford's made the run into the middle. And he's still going here, Mellor, and Nelson Semedo back there to defend it for Barcelona and Griezmann.
Yeah, did just enough there, did Semedo, for Antoine, and it gets to the stage as we approach the time where usually you'd see substitutions come into play on the real-world pitch. Maybe we start to see these players turn to their benches, and maybe Griezmann even turn a bit more attacking, because he surely won't want this to go to pens.
There's Dembele with the cross, and that's cleared away. Every time he's needed a defender back there, Scott McTominay, he's managed to find one, although De Jong's got the ball here, and now Messi, and Messi was looking to turn, and the shot, that's the save by David De Gea. Messi can't believe it, and I'm pretty sure nor can Antoine Griezmann.
Nor can McTominay. I thought for sure that he was in possession of this ball and that there was no way for Messi to get a shot away. Luckily, the Spaniard, De Gea, is right behind it. Only the corner for Griezmann. He's pressing, though.
Yeah, pressure on Scott McTominay.
No. Change player.
Corner to Antoine Griezmann. Lionel Messi's out to take it. Time ticking by, though. Dembele's managed to get the other side of Fosu Mensah, and down he goes. And what's the referee said? He said, oh, it's in! And what a player to score in the final for Antoine Griezmann. It's Antoine Griezmann. It's the fairy tale. It's exactly what Griezmann wanted to see. And Antoine Griezmann leads Scott McTominay 1-0.
Oh, my God. How is it not a penalty?
Well, for all his pressure and for all his pressing, Griezmann gets the reward he was looking for. I felt a little sympathetic towards him, considering the foul just before should have been called a penalty. I think the referees played a really good advantage here, as Dembele goes down under a heavy challenge, but Griezmann there thought about taking it on his left, looking to then shift it onto the right boot. That was a heavy challenge at the back. Just switched feet at the last second, did the virtual Griezmann. And it's advantage to the French international.
Well, the virtual Griezmann has made Antoine Griezmann very, very happy, and it's advantage to him in the final with not too long remaining for Scott McTominay to try and find an answer. He's got to throw caution to the wind now and really get on the attack. Here's Greenwood, and now Rashford. Rashford's wriggling through. Alba, the defender, and did really well.
And if you take a look in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, that little blue bar means that Griezmann's gone on to the more defensive side of things. Maybe very wary of defending this one-goal lead. It's uncharacteristic of Antoine. Usually he scores, again, to use a boxing analogy, punches in bunches. Looks like he's happy to sit on this one-goal advantage and not give away too much at the back. I think it's quite smart at this stage of the game.
I'm just trying to keep the ball at the moment, although there's some space here for Alba into Griezmann again. And it's through to David De Gea. Launched forward and flicked on. Here's Mason Greenwood. Scott McTominay coming forward. He's got two up there with Mason Greenwood, who's still on the move. Down he almost went over and turned out it was a fair challenge. Now the man who's got the goal so far, Antoine Griezmann, out to Lionel Messi. Fosu Mensah across there to win it back for McTominay, but he gives it away to Nelson Semedo. Vidal to Griezmann, lovely turn. Tees up Dembele, side foot straight at De Gea. Second chance, pulls it back, 2-0. And he's only gone and got both of them.
I don't believe this. I don't believe it.
Antoine Griezmann leads 2-0. And the virtual Antoine Griezmann scored both goals.
Oh my God.
Well, I think that's the goal that seals it.
He scored two, man.
The Barca players are celebrating, and, well, for McTominay, he'll be so disappointed.
Well in it.
He's defended stoutly all Solidarity Challenge long throughout every round so far, but in the end, his undoing is it's just a mix-up at the back between De Gea and Lindelof, I think it was. Just needs someone to put a boot through it, put a fist through it, get it away from the area. Instead, it's Griezmann first to react with Dembele, and he sets his virtual self up for his brace, and that surely should be the title now.
Well, he's had to work really hard for it in the final, Antoine Griezmann, but two little moments where he needed the incisive finish, and the virtual version of himself has delivered on both occasions. And it looks like it's going to be disappointment in the final for Scott McTominay unless he can get things done very, very quickly.
By very quickly, we mean almost instantaneously. From this attack needs a goal, and, you know, even if he gets that goal, Griezmann's going to play possession.
Free kick by Matic was headed away. Here's Messi. Antoine Griezmann in possession. It's all he needs at the moment to keep the ball. It's been a fantastic effort, though, by Scott, because he's given Griezmann more trouble than anybody else has all the way through to the final.
And although we haven't seen too many attacking forays from him, maybe unlucky not to get a goal.
Mata hits it straight at Nelson Semedo. Here's Messi. Mella onto Rashford.
Look at him.
Free kick to Manchester United, to Scott McTominay.
Yeah, intentional foul this was, I think, from Busquets. I feel like Griezmann just wants to slow down the flow and not give McTominay any chance to get himself a lifeline in this final. It's smart, it's clever, bit of gamesmanship.
No, that's a foul as well. If he gets hat-trick, I'm quitting.
And, well, I think Antoine has done enough here.
On to Lionel Messi. Fosu Mensah went in and didn't leave anything to the imagination. Scott McTominay's got to get it forward. Mata onto Rashford. One back well, though, for Antoine Griezmann by Frenkie de Jong. And the full-time whistle.
The world champion!
A bit of practice. Get me a bit of practice, yeah, and I'm coming for it.
And Antoine Griezmann has won the Solidarity Challenge by 2-0. Antoine, congratulations. It was hard fought. It wasn't an easy game, but you won it.
Ouais, Scott, il a un très bon niveau de jeu. J'ai été surpris. Et voilà, ça a été un plaisir d'avoir pu jouer contre lui. Et comme on s'est dit avant, bah, on pourra s'entraîner encore plus pour devenir meilleur.
Scott, congratulations on reaching the final. Commiserations on the way it went. I thought for a spell there that you got it tactically spot on. Going into the second half, we were saying during the commentary, you were controlling the ball, you were holding him at bay. We really fancied you to maybe nick it in the second half there.
Yeah, the first half was good. I kept the ball well. It's probably a little bit frustrating whenever someone does that to me. It's annoying. So I knew that was be the best way to play. But then second half, 2 mistakes killed me. 2 mistakes, and obviously me not being able to break him down was the main talking point of the match. So no, it was a good game. I enjoyed it a lot, and obviously it was a pleasure to be involved in the tournament. So I really appreciate that.
It's been fantastic having you involved. Antoine, was that the perfect way to win it with 2 virtual Antoine Griezmann goals?
Ouais, j'ai essayé de trouver le Grisou devant, essayer de lui donner le plus de fois de ballon le plus possible. Et voilà, c'est lui qui nous donne la victoire. Donc on est heureux de l'avoir dans notre équipe.
Scott, we're looking forward to seeing you back on the proper pitch very, very soon, away from the virtual pitch that we've enjoyed watching you on for the past couple of days. Would you have a message before we let you go for the Manchester United supporters?
Yeah, obviously we just all can't wait to be back. It'll be amazing to be back playing, whether that's not in front of any fans or just in crowds where there's nobody there. So no, everybody's looking forward to be back, and hopefully we'll get some good results and start pushing forwards now.
Scott, thank you. We wish you well with the preparations and looking forward to seeing you back in the league. Antoine, what would you say to the Barcelona supporters who are watching this? It won't be long before you're back too.
Bah, j'espère qu'ils ont profité du jeu, de la victoire, et voilà, hâte de retrouver le championnat, de leur donner du plaisir sur le vrai terrain, et voilà, bisca le Barça.
Well done to both of you. Antoine, you're the winner. Scott, you're the runner-up. Thanks for taking part.
So there we have it. Congratulations to Antoine Griezmann, the winner of the Solidarity Challenge. Harry, in the end, it feels like he deserves it, and he very much was the favourite going into it, but a good performance all round.
I mean, he proved why, didn't he? Not a single goal conceded throughout the entire tournament, by the way. Not a bad record to go along with the crown as well. Scott, I mean, we heard from him just then in the post-game interview. It felt like he was controlling the game really well in the first half, which he was. He was frustrating Antoine here and there, only really allowed him half chances and that one chance around the 30-minute mark, I think it was, with Leo Messi. But in the second half, just lost a bit of concentration, and Antoine's class, I think, showed through, and that's why we see him crowned the champion.
And Darren, he's a hell of a player on the pitch, it has to be said, and he's pretty good on the sticks also. Antoine's so impressive all the way through.
Yeah, when the chances came, he just got the ability to take them. Even more special for him, the fact that the virtual Griezmann got both goals in the final, which if he could have written the script beforehand, that's what it would have said. I mean, from Scott's perspective, I thought he did really well. I think he did what he had to do, which was to try and make it difficult for Antoine and try and keep the ball for as long as he could. It was just that age-old problem that we've seen everybody have in the tournament against Antoine. You just can't get forward to score a goal either. We know that he's free scoring as a player, but as Harry said, he's not letting goals in either. But I think they both enjoyed it. They've both been fantastic competitors. So has everybody who's been involved in the Solidarity Challenge. And I think it was the perfect way for it to finish.
Absolutely. So there you go. Antoine Griezmann is the winner of the Solidarity Challenge. Just to remind you guys exactly why we have done this is to help in the fight against coronavirus. The WHO's COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund is what we are donating to. You can still donate at any time at www.solidaritychallenge.org. Every single penny goes towards the fund. But yeah, I mean, that's it. The end of the Solidarity Challenge. I want to say a massive thank you to all our celebrities who took part. A massive thank you to our commentary team. Harry, as always, with me. And Darren, your first foray into the virtual beautiful game. I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
I've enjoyed it. You've made me very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Harry, another good day of PES anyway.
It always is on the virtual pitch. The favourite came through to win it. Scott McTominay gave himself a really good account of himself, but in the end, Antoine Griezmann, he remains the king.
He does indeed. Thank you very much to everybody at home who's been watching and donating, and we will see you next time.